Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 5 of Season 2 of EGFH in Rocket League. Today we're live with games from our Connecticut region. We're starting this season with games from the Woodstock Academy Centaurs and the Notre Guides. I want to thank our sponsors, the UK Gaming Club, the Yukon School of Engineering, and Mob Crush for making this possible. Now, to get into this game, my name is Cavan Navik Dignan, and for this season, I'm joined by Nick Vodable and Brozik. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing pretty well. Excited for these games. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Just a bit of a busy weekend, but here we are casting some Rocket League. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. We have the Woodstock Academy Centaurs on blue and the Green Knights on orange, and it's going to be great to see which one of them comes out on top. I'm quite expecting the Centaurs to start off strong like we saw happen in the other games so far this season.
Yeah, no, the Centaurs have always started off quite strong, and last week we did see the Green Knights playing against the Panthers, I want to say. And that was a fairly close set of games as well.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can actually get a win against the undefeated team so far.
Yeah, no, they have been an absolute monster this season. And so I'd like to see them the game to somebody, you know, bring in a bit more competition.
Yeah, it's always good to see like a game 5 where it's all down to the wire and then goes into overtime. The last goal will decide the entire series, but I think this one's more likely to be a 3-1, maybe even a 3-0 like we've seen happen before, just based off on the level of play that these two teams have comparatively.
You know
but
what?
We are seeing some good stuff from Pogo Logo so far. Yeah,
no, I'm gonna contradict you there, and I'm gonna hope that we see a 2-3 towards the Centaurs.
Okay.
That's my prediction here.
Hoping
Mainly
the other
'cause
team wins.
I just want to see more Rocket League.
Yeah, I gotcha.
You know, but we'll see. And it's actually fairly even at the moment. The ball's staying fairly central. A nice little shot coming out from airspeed there, and Pogo Logo just not reacting in time. Lovely little long shot there. That's going to be the first goal going towards the Centaurs.
You just had to jinx it, didn't you?
Caster's curse.
Always happens, but it did take a while for that first goal to be scored by the Centaurs. We saw a lot of pressure being applied by the Green Knights. A shot for Tekos and a shot for Untitled. Pogo Logo is putting on some pressure himself. Didn't really get any points for his name, but you know the point system did change recently, where you don't get as many for aerial touches or different plays that you used to before, so it's kind of harder to rack up those points on the scoreboard. It's not as indicative as how good a player is doing on their team. But we are seeing a lot more out of the Green Knights again, trying to get on offense and maybe even things up if they can get it past airspeed.
Yeah. I mean, we've definitely seen a lot coming out from the Green Knights as well, right? Like, and I need to just... I need to stop these...
I don't think you need to stop. I think the Green Knights need to stop setting up the Centaurs is what they need to stop doing. We saw that happen twice now. The first time, I believe it was Untitled who had an awkward touch off the wall, and then that's where airspeed got set up. And then this time, it looked like it was, I think, Tekos that set up Crazy MS, and he was able to score a goal after that. So, gotta maintain control of that ball and keep up that constant pressure they had before. Don't force mistakes out of yourself. Force mistakes out of your opponents.
Yeah, true. Or just blame the casters.
Or blame the casters. That always works.
If I taught the Centaurs school...
We just need you to be silent for the rest of the game, then maybe the Green Knights will score a goal, but just some inopportune timing on your part.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if I start talking here and starting to cast. We see Tekos getting the demolition on Babovagans there. Airspeed's looking to follow it up. Tekos right behind him. A nice little deflect coming out from Crazy MS. Airspeed gonna use that name, get his little aerial tap there, setting it up. Tekos is actually gonna find the rotation whilst he intercepts the ball, trying to set it up for Spook. As Untitled there goes for the shot, he actually misses it, leaving it for Crazy MS to push forward along with the rest of his team. Nobody's scored yet, so this is going quite well.
Yeah, just get all the words out as quickly as you can, and then it'll work out. That's what we need to use that. Oh, maybe it's now me talking, as Airspeed gets a hat trick this time. You know, whenever any caster is talking, the Centaurs are scoring. That's how often they score in these matches we've seen so far. They don't want their teammate Baba Baggins, or who wants us to call him Baba as well, but
Oh,
so much more
Baba.
fun to say Baba Baggins.
Baba Baggins is just a fun name to say.
Exactly. He only has 10 points, where the rest of his team 495 for airspeed and 485 for crazy MS. You know, he doesn't have to put too much work in, as his teammates time and time again just put the ball into the back net, secure those goals, and the Green Knights, who had some good offensive pressure going for them before, just kind of fizzled out at this point.
Yeah, no, I mean 5-0 at this point. The Green Knights are probably just kind of thinking, trying to get their head in the game. You know, we say this when we see one team just falling behind so much. They don't stop trying, but they're trying to reset their mentality. You know, not get tilted effectively. So that might be what we're seeing right now. Or the Centaurs are really just going at it. But with we're untitled there. I almost called him Spook Titled, which is his current name because of Halloween. With untitled there, it's hard to tell what their mentality is right now. Tekka's getting a nice little
there we go.
Pogo. There you go.
That's kind of what they were missing before, the connections. And we saw both the defenders baited out there. They were pushed up too far. So Tekka's was able to sneak it past them. And then Pogo Logo got the secure on the ball. And if we see more of those kind of connections, those infield passing plays between the members of the Green Knights, I feel like they'd be able to break past the defense of the Centaurs on a more consistent basis.
Yeah. And that's the most important thing, right? They need to be consistent with getting past the Centaurs' defense.
Ooh.
And right now, I'd say that was more of a mistake on Crazy MS than anybody else for them to not get that goal. Goes running the ball, trying to get a little flick over airspeed there, but it sadly didn't work out. Intercepted by, I believe that was Baba Baggins. Airspeed tap. Again, 30 seconds left on the clock. I think it's safe to say that this first round's going to go to the Centaurs.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment of this first game. We did see some potential, like right there, out of the Green Knights, but even... Oh, okay, I was about to call it too soon. Even then, they've just been a little inaccurate on their shots and had some similar misses that we've seen the Green Knights have in the other series they've had on stream. So it just comes down to, at the end of the day, practicing these kind of shots, getting used to being put into these scenarios, and putting more work into grinding the game out, just so you know what to do in those situations, and you can actually do it and use your mechanical ability to get the connections you need, get those goals, because we saw a few opportunities. They didn't get as many shots as they would have liked at the beginning, but they had the Centaurs push back towards their side in awkward positions. They just couldn't get it past them after that.
Very, very, very unfortunate. But maybe we'll see it in this next round. Maybe they'll find a bit more, you know, finding some of those backlines, finding the armor, dealing that way.
Almost accidentally pressed auto to join a team just to help them out. But we'll see what Tekka's, Pogo Logo, and Untitled can do in this next game against the Centaurs. They just got to be careful whenever they're all pushed up, that they have someone rotating back around. That three-man rotation. Oh my goodness, airspeed!
I don't know what to say about this man. I mean, just this initial kickoff, he just saw a chance there, and he's a one-man army. Look, even if Tekka's wasn't there to bounce it back in, it would have bounced into the goal either way.
Yep. I feel like we would have had a few more seconds to breathe and, you know, break down what happened last game, but airspeed's proving us wrong that we can't talk about anything other than him and his teammates because they're going to be scoring so much. But Tekka's, no!
Trying, that was so close, just hitting the top of the bar there. That was a lovely setup by, I want to say, Pogo Logo, and Tekka's just couldn't find the right angle there to even it out. Still 4 minutes 30 on the clock though, so plenty of time for the Green Knights to find this one goal. It's just, it's just feeling very unfortunate for the Green Knights at the moment. they need to be able to try and at least find something in this situation. Crazy MS getting a little tap there, setting it up into the center. Bubba Baggins is going to look for the setup there, but a little bit too far away. Techo's getting the boost, so he's going to be able to do something, and then intercepted by Airspeed. That luckily Untitled was there to save that goal. That was a close one.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of opportunities for the Centaurs to put even more points on the board for themselves, but the Green Knights, they've held off after that first quick goal and earned themselves another one somehow by the mistake on defense.
I'm a little bit confused on that one. If we rewatch this, the Crazy MS doesn't save it.
He almost
tries
got
to go
it
for the Dambo on Techos instead of trying to save the goal.
Oh, that's crazy. I haven't seen that kind of angle bounce off the ceiling of the arena and somehow like get past him. Crazy MS almost got the save on that one too, but just couldn't get back in time for it as well. So works out for Techos, who had 4 shots last game and struggled to put most of them into the net. I think he only got 1 past his opponent, so it's evened up for the first time we've seen in this series.
Yeah, and Techos sitting in the goal there, just thinking, okay, as long as we can keep the goals even, we have a better chance of winning.
Yeah. Just get it to overtime. All they would need at that point is 1 goal, and they'll be fine.
Baggins and Airspeed actually missing the ball there. Crazy Mass kicking it over towards his own goal, probably trying to reset it with the rest of his team, not give the Green Knights any room for them to try and make adjustments and just completely have it under control. But Pogo Logo almost manages to disrupt that there, as Untitled and Pogo Logo both double commit for that ball. There's going to be nobody left in the goal until Techos respawns, which there he is, setting it back up basically into kickoff. Airspeed with a lovely aerial, and that might go in. No. Oh, wait.
Okay.
And the Green Knights find a goal off of that, so fair play to them.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward what happened there, but they managed to pinch it between themselves, launch it to the other side, and then Techos got the final touch just because it went barely off the post. But shows how crucial it is to have someone in that kind of sweeper position, seeing that both their teammates are pushed up, either rotating forward if they want to get a secure on the ball, or staying back and going back for boost and making sure there's an opportunity to get a save if they need to, which happened twice now, where there are open net opportunities for the Green Knights to score.
Yeah. And again, now with the Green Knights having a bit of a lead, maybe we'll see a bit more confidence coming from them and like their plays, you know? Because I think they've been a little bit timid after that first round, but they kind of set it up, they wait for it, they're playing much more defensively, making sure as many goals don't go in as that first round, and they're just trying to capitalize on the Green Knight, on the Centaurs' mistakes.
I mean, it's working out well for them, so I don't feel they need to change it so much, because when they were putting on all that pressure in the first game, they were making a lot of mistakes because they don't have the mechanical ability to go toe-to-toe with the Centaur. So instead, they're like, okay, we're just going to make them tired of getting simple shots on net, and eventually we'll get those counterattacks, and that's exactly what they did so far.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
been
they've
working
adjusted.
To a T.
Yeah, they've adjusted, they kind of took it in, they were like, okay, we'll just play on the counterattack, right? Because obviously us to play offensive isn't working, we'll wait for them to miss position and then just be like, okay, it's our goal now. Like you said, it's working to a T for them at the moment. 50 seconds left on the clock and they are 1 goal ahead.
Oh,
so...
no.
Oh, just as I say that, okay, a little bit too hard on the crossbar. Techos managing to save it, but it sets it up for Crazy MS. And Baba Baggins actually knocking it back. Is that going to go in? No.
It might. Okay, he didn't have any boost. That was very close.
Yeah.
If he did, he could have gotten the secure there. Pogo Logo had to be careful. You can't afford, when you're in midfield, to miss the ball like that, because your teammates have no chance to come back if they have no boost in the tank.
No. Fortunately there, it worked out for them, but Airspeed's going to be looking to try and set something up with the last 15 seconds of the game. Pogo Logo just delivering it to him as it hits that top crossbar. Airspeed now going for the demolishes, trying to just deal with some of this defense, like just defensiveness that they've got set up, right? This line of cars, just making sure nothing goes in. 1 second left on the clock, and as soon as it touches the ground, the second game is going to be going to the Green Knights. So we are going to see a game 4 no matter what.
Great victory by the Green Knights. I didn't quite expect it, to be fair. The Centaurs, after that dominant performance in the first game, and then the Green Knights having all that pressure, just not really amounting to anything. And we spoke about it during the game. We saw the Green Knights. They played more defensively. There's so many shots by the Centaurs, but they were all knocked away. Most of them didn't even count as saves. They were just simple shots towards the defense. And they were far out enough from the net they could just send it right back to the other side. So the Centaurs just tired themselves out with all those shots. Like we saw Airspeed with 6. And Baba actually got some shots of his own. But maybe it's up to Crazy MS now to kind of step things up and get things going for them in this third game.
Yeah, no, I mean, like we said, we are going to be going to a game 4, so just get to see more and more, right? See, now it's down to the Centaurs if they're going to end up adjusting, if they're going to end up working as a team, like, more than they usually do to prepare for it.
Yeah, because they haven't really faced that kind of opposition before where another team has been able to hard counter them like that. Because their style is that all-out offense, and when it doesn't work, it seems like they haven't come up with anything else because they haven't had to at this point.
Yeah. Again, we're just going to I think we are just going to see the Green Knights staying as they have been, right? They're going to be staying on that defensive and just focusing on counter-attacking as much as they can. Which definitely isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, if the Centaurs want to get past it, though, we saw it a little bit in the last game. They need to be more aggressive, go for those demo plays, take out the defenders so that they have an open lane of entry into the net. Like we've seen that happen in a lot of the professional games as well. When there's a really defensive team, the most effective strategy is just to take them out of the play completely, demolish or bump them out of the way when they don't expect it, and then they're able to get a simple secure.
Yeah, and that's, again, one
Oh,
of the
no.
Nobody there, Crazy MS is going to find this goal, and if he had missed that somehow, and I had miscalled that, I would have been very, very disappointed in myself. But
yeah,
maybe,
that was...
maybe more disappointed in Crazy MS?
I'd say more disappointing in Crazy MS. I've had situations like that where I've just completely missed a simple open net like that, and then it gets knocked to the other side and we get scored on. It's just like, that hurt. That hurt more than it should have. But that was all due to an overcommit by the Green Knights on offense. All 3 of them were pushed up past the midfield line. Nobody was in a third man rotation, like that third man position. So they couldn't react in time. They got counterattacked themselves like what they did to the Centaurs in the last game. And this is like what we saw in the first one. They were overconfident. Well, not overconfident. They had so much going for them pressure-wise. They just couldn't get the secures, and they pushed up too much.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate, right? Because they did just play a bit too much, maybe getting a bit too comfortable in that last. And again, Airspeed's going to be pushing up the ball with Crazy MS. Pogo Logo actually missing it. It pinched it straight down there, and that could have been an absolutely horrid accident coming out from Pogo Logo. They're going to try and save it, and Tech was getting a weird pinch along with Airspeed there. Actually, it just flung the ball out of the goal. I don't know if you saw that, but it just shot it.
Oh, what?
What
is going on with this series right now?
This is, I think this is the weirdest series we've had so far.
This is
so
100%.
Crazy MS misses it. Airspeed doesn't realize it's behind him, and Baba Baggins also misses it.
Tekos is just having the luckiest series of his life so far. He got the 2 goals for his team last game. Acting as the main striker, somehow disrupting that rotation by the Centaurs. And it's working out for them. They're able to equalize it again. They just need to keep playing their game.
How are you meant to counter just luck?
I don't know.
you can't predict. Maybe this is the plan of the Green Knights, right? How are they going to predict us if we don't know what we're going to do? You know?
That's like an anecdote from history where I think it was like the Russians were talking about America. It's like they don't know what they're doing, and it's so effective.
I mean, I think that's a fair thing to say, right? Though maybe that's true. If you don't know what you're doing, you have a
Your
high
enemies won't know what they're doing.
not prepared.
It's a solid strategy, and it's working out
Is
thus
it,
far.
yeah. And the irony is, it is a strategy, even though we don't know how to do it. Oh, Untitled there, managing to get it out of the hands of the Centaurs, trying to set it back up. Tekos to follow up if this doesn't work out. And of course, we did see, I believe that was Airspeed and Crazy MS, both double committing to make sure that that didn't happen. 1 minute left on the clock. Even out on the goals at the moment.
It's also interesting to note that the playstyle of the Green Knights has kind of regressed into that two people being like the strikers or like midfielders, and then one person being like playing that goalie role. Like we haven't seen that since last season, which was like the early stages of it. But now they know it's more effective against the Centaurs, as long as they have someone back there to get blocks like that. And they've gotten better at getting those saves too, so it's even more effective than it was before.
Yeah, and it's definitely a good read on the Centaurs regressing to that playstyle from that first game, because it just clearly did not work. Dragons not being able to stop that, so it is going to end up in the side of the Centaurs. A quick rebound coming up from Tekos, and that is going to head in towards the goal, if not stopped. Airspeed managing to get the little bump there. Again, 14 seconds left on the clock. I don't know about you, Audible, but I do feel like this may end up going into overtime. I could
all
be
depend
about
on...
to eat my words here, though.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, it could all depend on how that shot goes, and if this stays up in the air for too long. They've been so good at getting those blocks, though, on defense. Every time they go up for a shot like that, they're able to put themselves in the way and knock it away from their goal line. So they get that first overtime as well.
Yeah, and this is looking good off the start, at least off that kickoff for the Green Knights for a second there. They managed to get it into the side of the Centaurs. They were putting on some pressure, but they may have just set up a Baba Baggins as he just hits the crossbar. You know, I'm trying to call him Baba because he asked, but Baba Baggins is just so much fun to say, and it just rolls off the tongue. Airspeed going for a shot there, easily stopped by Untitled as Pogo Logo tries to clear it away from the rest of his teammates' follow-up.
I think we need to see some more passing plays between the Centaurs if they really want to break past the defense of the Green Knights. Because there's always that one man, but if you can outplay that one man, get a passing play like that so close off the corner.
Two of the Centaurs are going to be low on boost because they just committed and there's nobody... Okay, there we go. Okay, they did manage to get back in time. That was looking a bit risky with Crazy MS and Airspeed being all the way behind the rest of the Green Knight players.
Yeah. But they had that one man back like we were talking about the Green Knights doing, so they've kind of picked up on their strategy, and it's just a stalemate at this point. Oh,
yeah, and
okay.
As you say that, the past is cursed. The Centaurs are going to take game around 3, so it's 2-1 now. So we might actually, I may have called the right thing here. We might see round 5.
It's possible. If things continue this way. So we'll see exactly if the Green Knights keep up the strategy, have Tekos and Untitled be the main aggressors, Pogo Loco having that kind of goalie role.
Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Oh,
playing for a team right now. Let's go back to spectate there.
We joked about it before, but don't want it to happen.
I'm committing now.
I think we're fine. Could tell the teams to join. Just so they get into the game.
Yeah,
oh,
fine.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Everything's all fine and dandy.
That's the most important thing.
Yes. We're into game 4 of this best of 5. 2-1, as you mentioned, between these two teams.
To the Centaurs.
Yeah, to the Centaurs. Airspeed looking to pick up where he left off after that overtime.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get that kickoff goal like he did in the second game, I think it was.
Yes, it was the second game. But he's going to try. He's going to keep trying here as Airspeed looks up for a follow-up, not managing to get the angle that he wants, ending up in the bottom right corner of the map. Pogo Logo again, just trying to go for a little bit of a tap, try and set it up for the rest of his team, but Airspeed is on it right now. Something there. Techo's managing to intercept the ball, so Airspeed couldn't set himself up. Techo's again going for that mid, trying to get a rollback. Pogo Logo looks like he's in position, but Airspeed just flying through the air with speed manages to intercept the ball. Again, Crazy MS and Babobaggins both here. Tekos is just on the point right now, right? He's constantly after that ball, trying to keep it onto the Centaur side, trying to make sure that they don't get any room, or just disrupting them and forcing them to use as much boost as they can to delay the time. A shot coming in, and nobody blocking it there from Airspeed.
That was a great setup by Babobaggins, and then Airspeed all the way from his own side. Great touch. One of them tried going up for it. I believe the goalie thought that his teammate would have got the interception, but it was a well-placed shot by Airspeed, so there was no way he could react in time to that because the power that was behind it.
Yeah, and it was at such a perfect angle, right? It hit literally right in the top right corner, that unless you were already heading for that practically before he hit the ball, I don't think you were going to make it.
That's the kind of placement we were missing from them in the last two games, because they kept hitting it dead center right at the defenders, or had like quick shots towards them where they're just trying to push it past them.
Yeah, that could have ended very badly for the Centaurs there, as Tekos tried to set it up for Untitled, but the Centaurs triple committed, managing to hit the ball there. If all three of them had missed, that would have been an easy goal for the Green Knights. DMS and Pogo Logan just have a bit of a skirmish there. Tekos actually just getting hit away by Airspeed as he's playing a bit more aggressively. Didn't have the boots there to get the demolition, try and clear it out, buy some time. What exactly is the respawn time? I'm not 100%.
I think it's like 3 seconds or somewhere around there.
Yeah, okay. So it's not too long.
No, not long at all.
I couldn't remember if it scaled depending on how far into the match it was.
No, it doesn't. It's always the same.
Makes sense.
Oh, okay. I thought that lava shot might have gone in.
Yeah, and then
These shots are dangerously close, though.
Yeah, and Crazy MS, again, commit after commit after commit. Of course, Airspeed going there, turning around, getting his boost, making sure he has some juice to try and get this next goal. But Untitled was going to manage to hit a nice little aerial there, pushing it all the way into the side of the Centaurs. Preparing for the follow-up, nobody's actually going to be able to catch it in time as Babobaggins runs it down the field, chips it over Pogo Logo, and that's going to be the second goal going towards the Centaurs.
Yeah, Pogo Logo just got outplayed there. Committed way too late. Should have just stayed on the goal line, and then he would have had a better opportunity to get in the way of that ball.
Yeah, but unfortunately he wasn't able to be there with, of course, Crazy MS getting a nice little chip over him. I guess that's the issue when you try and contest, and the person you're contesting is already dribbling the ball. It's so easy for them to just flick it over you.
It seems like this game's just going to go the way of the Centaurs as well. I expected a bit more out of the defensive playstyle by the Green Knights. They have a chance here for Tekos, barely off the corner. No, that's been the story so far of the series, where Tekos or Untitled barely hit it off the post or just to the side of the net. They can't get those goals that they desperately need to keep themselves in the series. And then Airspeed just scoring as usual.
Yeah, I think that was Airspeed's 9th goal this series.
Somewhere around there.
He has been doing work.
He has been living up to his name by having that speed in the air, you could say.
Yeah, that air speed, and then immediately on kickoff, Untitled managing to find a goal. So they only need to catch up to 2 goals now within 1 minute. I mean, 30 seconds a goal is 100% possible if they're lucky.
Yeah, especially with the amount of time remaining, as you mentioned. We've seen it happen in less time. I've seen 2 quick kickoff goals occur to bring someone back to win a series. It is crazy. But they're going to have to put a lot of work in if they want those 2 goals, because they were struggling in the first 3 goals now. The first 4 minutes of the game as another hat-trick by Airspeed.
And that was so unfortunate. If you actually look at Pogo Logo here, he just misses.
He should have kept his
If he had
nose
kept
up
going
on his car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he would have gotten the block.
Unfortunately, that it looked like he just kind of second guessed himself and thought he needed
Exactly.
to rotate, get a slightly different angle. And again, Crazy MS might. Oh, Spook on Title getting a nice little tap into the car, and he might actually be able to find a goal off of that. Yeah, he's going to. So now we're like to 24 seconds a goal for. So really, they've lost 6 seconds a goal to get 2 goals. Still
This
possible.
is really the first time we've seen Untitled step up for the Green Knights. It was mainly Tekko scoring all the goals for them. So
Well,
if
this round,
Tekko
this
puts on
game-
a show,
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
and is that a kickoff goal?
okay. Untitled, that was a
just
chance.
missing it there. That could have been the comeback.
It's all they would have needed as well, because they would just need one more goal after that.
And they would have
And
had
that's
like
easy in like
30
30 seconds.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard when there's that much pressure,
Yeah.
because then
Especially
you like
if
force
realize there's
mistakes
that
out
much
yourself.
pressure. Exactly. You
Yeah.
get into your own head. The whole psychological part comes into it. You start second guessing everything.
Oh, okay.
Untitled is really showing up for his team at the moment, though.
Yeah, it might be too late. 4 seconds on the clock. Another goal going in. Mathematically impossible for them to get 3 goals at this point.
I mean, can you kick off before a second ticks down?
Like, if it doesn't hit the ground, like, they only have 2 seconds. So, like,
Can
once you hit the
yeah.
ball, the timer
It's gonna
starts.
take him seconds to get
Yeah.
hit. Well, actually, once you hit the ball. So if you got
Yeah.
2 or 3 really nice, like kickoff
Like, you
goals,
somehow got like pinches that went
like
insanely fast, so it
three
only took
pinches in a row.
second. Yeah, that would have to take 3 seconds. So anyway, the Centaurs winning that one 5-2 against the Green Knights. It was a closer series than it came out to be, based off of those middle of the pack games that we had for the best of 5, where the Green Knights won the second one and barely lost the third one in overtime. So continuing to see improvement by the Green Knights, and the Centaurs learn to adapt their playstyle a little bit more. So great work by both teams, but good win on the Centaurs to get the victory 3-1.
Yeah. It worked out very, very well for them. And again, like you were saying, those were close games. We thought for a second that we were going to see our 5th game of the series, and that would be the first time out of, I believe, just this series. I believe we had one last season. But of course, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. And I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to the beginning of the season with, of course, the Woodstock Academy Centaurs taking the victory. You can follow us at Official EGF on Twitter and Twitch for updates and announcements. This season wouldn't be possible without the support from our sponsors, the Yukon Gaming Club, the Yukon Steering, and Mob Crush. I have, of course, been Cavan Navik Dignan. You can find me on Twitter at NavicCasts. And Nick?
And then I've been Nick Vodable Ambrozic, and you can find me on Twitter and all the social medias at Vodable, Vodible. Thank you guys for joining us for week 5 of the season, and we will see you next time.